Hi, I'm Dan Chambers of Chambers Law Firm, and thank you for joining us what is now episode 7 in an ongoing series about the anatomy of a criminal case. Now, at the conclusion of the last episode, or the last video that we did, we talked about the importance of developing a case theme. In other words, what story do you want to tell? What is the real story of the case to help explain why the incident happened or how you are not guilty of the crime you're being charged with? In this episode, the next phase of looking at the case is going to be identifying the weaknesses in the case. Now, there can be a variety of weaknesses. Maybe it's things I highlighted last time, that the eyewitness identification can't be trusted. Maybe it's a search and seizure issue. Maybe there was an illegal search done or an illegal seizure of some evidence. Maybe a computer was searched without a warrant. Maybe it's a weakness having to do with a statement you made to police. Maybe you weren't read your Miranda rights at the time, and we can exploit that by keeping your statement out of evidence if there's a Miranda violation. So, after you've gotten the discovery, you've gotten your follow-up discovery, you've developed your case theme, you've looked at the jury instructions, now it's time to kind of deconstruct the case and say, where are the weaknesses in the evidence? Is there a misidentification? Does the body-worn camera footage reveal that you made a statement that police left out of their interview? If you review the security or surveillance footage from, let's say, the liquor store, is there a potential witness identified there that clearly can testify that the events occurred differently? Was there a Miranda violation? What's the basis of the search? Why was my client detained in the first place? Did the police have a warrant? Now you can start identifying and highlighting all of the different ways that you can attack the case. And that's when you get into pretrial motions, right? This is where we as our attorneys really earn our bread and butter on the case, is what motions can we file to start chiseling away at the prosecutor's evidence. And so based on our review, we may come up with a variety of different motions that can be filed to try to weaken the prosecutor's case. The other reason it's important to identify these issues is that we get more opportunities to question the officers in court or question witnesses. So let me give you an example. Let's say that your attorney says, hey, I think this search was illegal. A motion is filed to attack that, but also it serves a second purpose. It gets that officer under oath on the witness stand where we can cross-examine that officer without a jury present. And we can learn some things about the case. We can gauge that officer. Are they thorough? Are they sloppy? Do they have attitude problems? We can identify a lot of things simply by putting them in a witness chair and asking them questions. So there's always two things going on with a motion. One is you hope you win it or you hope you get what you want. The other one is an opportunity to sort of size up the witness and lock them into certain statements based on your review of the evidence that will be hard for them to back away out of if the case goes to trial. So motion practice is important. You've got to identify where the weak spots are, and after that we'll talk about the preliminary hearing. Thank you.